Construction projects. An issue you're probably all quite familiar with, it's been quite contentious, is the choice of venue of Greenwich. Whilst it brings our sport to the heart of the Olympic movement and will be a great benefit for us in the long term, it's a temporary venue. How are we going to benefit from this? We're working with Greenwich Borough Council to develop a significant, and I say significant because it will be a very particularly large facility, in Shooters Hill, close to the venue, to provide educational community riding facilities for the local people and for the city. Ideas also include promoting that particular centre as a centre of excellence for Paralympic dressage as well. Obviously any available infrastructure from the Olympic venue won't go to waste. We're on top of LOCOG for that, to make sure that everything and anything possible that can be begged, borrowed or stolen from that particular venue comes back into the sport. Crossover projects. There are a particularly large number of horses in London, running into several thousand. There are 1,800 RDA riders, assisted by 8,000 volunteers. There are approximately 20 to 30,000 people who ride regularly in the city as well. Many of the centres that they use are affiliated to member bodies of the BEF, and they face any number of challenges that a lot of us will be familiar with. Emission zones, planning, property values, etc. all threaten their futures, and we're working with a number of these centres and promoting them where we can to help them develop strategies to survive. Community projects. The first recipient of funding support from Hoof Legacy in any significant way will be the Ebony Horse Club. A project that's particularly close to my heart came onto my radar when one of the young people involved in that project, Nathan Foster, who over 4 or 5 years had developed from a child hanging on street corners to a young person, an aspiring youth worker, and a senior member of the club and a very, very competent rider, was gunned down for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This particular club takes children from one of the poorest housing estates in London and introduces them to horses into a caring and above all disciplined environment, and rehabilitates them, if you like, through exposure to horses. As I mentioned before, it's a very inclusive sport. The horse doesn't care. Treat it with respect, it'll give you respect back, and this I've seen really turns children's lives around. We're donating some £200,000 towards the construction of this project. There's quite a lot more that needs to be raised for that, and we are looking for partners to get involved in this particular project. Whether that be cash in kind, value in kind, assistance, development, we would be delighted to talk to anybody who is interested in assisting. It's a very high profile campaign. We have a lot of very powerful supporters behind us, including Tessa Jowell, the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, and Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall as well, who's very kindly agreed to be a patron. It's featured regularly in national and international media, most recently in the Times, and will be featured again in the Telegraph in May. We're supporting them with PR support as well. With Anna Bruce, who some of you might have met, who's working with us on this campaign, we're providing information such as microsite stables, postage stamp-sized sites in London. There's a lot of expertise out there, and we're helping to spread this expertise. We're looking to build young rider diaries, online blogs, and also a significant number of the riders in the Ebony Horse Club are actually boys. Something quite different, tips the balance a bit, it's nice for me to see. And we're also looking to identify citywide champions. There's a lot of talent in London that, to a larger extent for various reasons, may be going to waste, and we're seeking to highlight that and give it a bit of a push. So how do we involve our member bodies? We're made up of 16 member bodies: the Olympic disciplines, British dressage, British eventing, British show jumping, the charities, the RDA, the Pony Club, the BHS, and also the non-Olympic disciplines, everything from polo cross, Mounted Games Association, vaulting and reining. They're all involved in one way or another, either working with us as our funding partners. The BEF is very much just a facilitating organisation. We don't own anything. We encourage others to take ownership of projects and assist them in developing them in the long term. We have a lot of outside endorsement, as I said. We have involvement with various celebrities who are riders themselves, Deborah Meaden, Tara Palmer-Tompkinson, and we're asking for your support as well. How can you get involved? Well, you can actually take part in riding yourselves, support equestrian centres in the city, help introduce people into new disciplines, volunteering or fundraising. For those of you from corporate backgrounds, many of your own companies, I know my own company, this is a part-time role for me, but from a commercial background, corporate social responsibility is extremely important. Your corporate social responsibility programs could include one of the Hoof nominated charities. particularly useful given the media exposure of the programme. For any of you seeking possibly some involvement long term, quite a useful project to get involved in commercially. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, follow us on the website, or possibly support one of our fundraising initiatives. We're looking at various options, including competitions to visit the Greenwich Olympic sites, tours of the site, tours of the Olympic Park, and our legacy-supported centres. And here's how. Donate in product and kind. Horse feed, insurance, riding hats. The Ebony Horse Club need to raise 1.7 million for their programme, but also they've got the day-to-day running costs. They need to buy hats, they need to buy boots, they need to buy body protectors. They need to ship the children around London to take them riding. Or create your own story. We can help you to identify a London rider, a London centre, a movement, and follow them through to 2012 and beyond. Could you be the person who's backed an individual or a centre that's produced a future Olympic winner, or somebody who's gone to Olympia? Or contribute to our Olympic Legacy Wall, a programme we're working on at the moment, very similar to those which you may have seen in major concert halls, stadia or venues, with benefactors donating in return for being named on a ceremonial plaque or brick. And most importantly, please stay in touch with us. If we can do something that is of mutual benefit to you, we will do so. My contact details are there. Contact Anna Greenway, my colleague from the BEF, also Anna Bruce, who's specifically working on the equestrian side, who could work with you to maximise any involvement that you might make with us to your own benefit.